last question, and sorry for interrupting, but
my
I'm afraid
apology.
you may be running out of time. But you just uttered a term that perked my interest. You referred to freedom of contract. Well, that leads me to this question. If we were to construe Proposition 8 as invalidating marriages that were performed before the enactment of Proposition 8, would that violate the contract clause or the due process clause of the federal Constitution by impairing vested rights?
Your Honor, if I may, I'm going to be very direct. I do not believe that Proposition 8, and we have submitted this, quote, invalidates. What it does do is deny recognition. The words of Proposition 8 could not be clearer. Only, those 14 words, only is valid or recognized. It's a validity and recognition. And thus, the full panoply of rights that attended to the interim marriages, the 18,000 marriages, and I know there's an enormous amount of humanity and emotion involved in that, those relationships enjoy the putative spouse doctrine and other ameliorative doctrines. And in fact, those relationships, if they go to a state or to a jurisdiction more generally where same-sex marriage is recognized, obviously no one is tearing up the marriage certificate.
So you're saying the rights would continue, it's just the recognition?
The validity and recognition. No, it also goes to validity. It does go to validity because they would then have to embrace equitable doctrines such as a putative spouse, but it's no longer valid. But in short, there is nothing in Proposition 8 or in the voter materials that suggested that these marriages were void ab initio.
Even though the rebuttal argument does say Proposition 8 will not take away any other rights or benefits, you think that would still be consistent with your approach that past marriages are invalid and not recognized?
Because of the full panoply of rights, and this was in the materials as well, the voter materials, and again, there was a proposition that didn't make it onto the ballot that would have stripped away domestic partnership rights. This is a moderate provision that is in fact designed to...
But Mr. Starr, is that really fair to the people that depended on what this court said was the law, upended their lives, changed their property responsibilities with their spouses? Is it really fair to throw that out?
Your Honor, first of all, I would quarrel with, quote, throwing it out. Again, our position is more, if I may say so, specific with respect to that. But I would say this, Your Honor, and I will say this with all understanding that relationships were entered into and so forth. There was a swirl of uncertainty in this
Well, wait a
state.
minute. There may have been a swirl of uncertainty in public opinion, but this court had said, as a matter of constitutional interpretation, this is the law in California. If Californians can't rely on the statements of this court about what the Constitution says, who should they ask?